Bhaja Govindam, verse 7. 4 stages of human life. Use them wisely. Balastavat kridasaktah tarunastavat tarunisaktah vrittastavat chintasaktah parame brahmani kopinasaktah Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja Mudhamate. During childhood, one is attached to play. During youth, one is attached to women. In old age, one is attached to anxiety. Yet, no one is attached to the Supreme Brahman. Seek Govinda, O foolish mind. Let's listen to a story based on verse 7. Once upon a time, there lived a big mango tree. A little boy loved to come and play around it every day. He climbed to the tree top, ate the mangoes, took a nap under the shadow. He loved the tree, and the tree loved to play with him. Time went by. The little boy grew, and he no longer played around the tree. One day, the boy came back to the tree with a sad look on his face. "Come and play with me," the tree asked the boy. "I am no longer a kid. I don't play around trees anymore," the boy replied. "I want toys. I need money to buy them." "Sorry, I don't have money, but you can pick all my mangoes and sell them so you will have money." The boy was so excited. He picked all the mangoes on the tree and left happily. The boy didn't come back. The tree was sad. One day, the boy, grown into a man, returned. The tree was so excited. "Come and play with me," the tree said. "I don't have time to play. I have to work for my family. We need a house for shelter. Can you help me?" "Sorry, I don't have a house, but you can chop off my branches to build your house." So, the man cut all the branches of the tree and left happily. The tree was glad to see him happy, but the boy didn't come back afterward. The tree was again lonely and sad. One hot summer day, the man returned and the tree was delighted. "Come and play with me," the tree said. "I am sad and getting old. I want to go sailing to relax myself. Can you give me a boat?" "Use my trunk to build your boat. You can sail far away and be happy." So, the man cut the tree trunk to make a boat. He went sailing and didn't come back for a long time. Finally, the man returned after he had been gone for so many years. "Sorry, my boy, but I don't have anything for you anymore. No more mangoes to give you," the tree said. "I don't have teeth to bite," the man replied. "No more trunk for you to climb on. I am too old for that now," the man said. "I really can't give you anything. The only thing left is my dying roots," the tree said with sadness. I don't need much now. Just a place to rest. I am tired after all these years," the man replied. "Good. Old tree roots are the best place to lean on and rest. Come, sit down with me and rest." The boy smiled and rested under the tree. It is a misconception that prayers and religious or spiritual activities must be undertaken only when one retires or gets old after their family responsibilities are over. The person who never has prayed or engaged in thoughts of God during his younger age, how can he or she be expected to suddenly chant or remember the Lord? It is not easy. That is why great masters have said that values and love for God should be inculcated from a very young age. Children absorb and retain whatever taught at a young age. The Upanishads offer us two paths, namely Shreyas and Preyas. Preyas is the path of samsara or the material world, and Shreyas is the path of inner freedom or nirvana. Masters have discovered this path of Shreyas, which takes one to moksha. The steps prescribed to be undertaken are brahmacharya, grihastha, vanaprastha, and sannyasa. One has to acquire the right knowledge when young, during brahmacharya, and put that knowledge into practice in the grihastha or a householder stage. Mere acquired knowledge is not enough. Then, after the duties are discharged as per the dharma and ashrama, choose to be alone to contemplate on self, that is vanaprastha, which will automatically lead to sannyasa and finally to moksha. Now, let's listen a story for students. Nariman was a good man. He would sit in prayer and connect with God to draw strength and inspiration. He spent a good portion of his time and money in the service of the poor. He would offer his services at the hospital whenever they put up free medical camps. He would buy fresh fruits and distribute them to the poor patients in the hospital. Sometimes he would treat the children in the labor colony to a movie or to ice creams. Each act of service was done as if it were a service to the Lord. One day, he told his teenage son Manit, "Son, I am going to the temple today to offer bananas to the Lord. Later, I will distribute these bananas to the beggars who sit outside. Why don't you come with me?" The boy said lazily, "Oh, come on, Dad. This stuff about going to temple and praying, this seva activity, it's not my kind of thing. You're old, Dad. This stuff is for oldies. I'm young. I'm not interested in these things. Maybe when I am as old as you, I could think about it. But right now, never." The boy readjusted his Walkman and swayed his hips to the beat of the rap music. Nariman heard his son's statement but did not retort back. He went out and completed his work of distribution for the day. A few days later, Nariman bought a huge basket of overripe bananas and placed them just outside his house. He went in to bathe. His son happened to spot the basket of blackened bananas and also noticed the insects hovering over them. Some of the bananas were almost rotten and were quite unsightly. The father came out wearing a crisp white kurta pajama and proceeded to transfer the bananas to his car. The son asked, "Father, where are you taking these bananas?" "To the temple," replied the father most unassumingly. "But father, these bananas are rotten. I mean, if you want to offer them to God, then at least you should have taken care to buy a fresh lot. They're all gooey and pulpy. They're infested with insects too. It would be a shame to offer them at the temple." The father said, "If you can wait to grow old to offer yourself to the Lord, if you think that you shall be presentable or of any use to the Lord when you are an old man, surely these old and rotten bananas can be offered to the Lord too." The son was rendered speechless. He wasn't able to look at his father in the eye. Father knew he had struck the right chord at the right time. He continued, "When you are young and able-bodied, you can work for the Lord. You can offer your services. You can spare some time and money to give to those who are in need. When you are old, your body shall have its own problems. You may not be physically fit enough to do service. You may have financial constraints, for you shall no longer be earning, and your expenses may be many. You may not be able to sit in prayer, for who knows, you may be troubled by arthritis or rheumatism. What can you offer then? That time you shall be in need of God's grace, perhaps more than ever." Having said that, father put the last bunch of rotten bananas into his car and drove away. He had made his point. Do you know where he went? He did not go to the temple, for he knew that these bananas were unfit for offering to the Lord. Instead, he went to a goshala or a cow shed where stray cows were kept and fed the bananas to them. The rotten bananas had done their work. When one is in a position to help others, one must do it. It should be useful and benefit others. One must learn to do things in right time so that that act is meaningful. Let us not delay and procrastinate things for a later time. One of the great masters of our time, Sri Satya Sai Baba, says that a young plant can be molded but a tree will break when one tries to change it. It is general trend that as children grow into teen or youth, they get so caught up with the world, career, family, etc. But the children who have been given a good value system and taught to love God will definitely get back to the core, though for a brief period they may seem to be distracted. So, one must make it a daily habit to remember and thank God. Those who develop these qualities from young age are generally more balanced, calm, and can handle the pressures of life better. They will be successful materially as well as spiritually. Jai Sai Ram.